Yeah,
You'll remember it for the rest of your life.
I will.
Mm-hmm.
All I saw were them teeth. Gleam. Looked like a
Mm-hmm.
Crest commercial. Nothing.
Bleaching
Where
them
are the
teeth. You're right.
Where are the
Why are your
elevators?
teeth so white?
Are y'all still good friends? I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I told him, I said, King, you keep bleaching your teeth, they're gonna be clear, transparent.
Love
You
it.
can't get any whiter.
How is he
With the
liking it
bleach.
up there, coaching up there?
I don't know.
I was sad to
It's a
see him
job.
go. So sad to see him go.
Yeah, but it's a job. And then I knew that they were not allowing him to coach.
Yeah.
And that's more frustrating than anything. And then you get fired because you're not allowed to coach.
Right.
That's a horrible situation to be in.
Absolutely.
So
You know?
kind of the same thing happened to J.J. Moses in the Texans. They said that he
For
was
real?
he was one of the most funnest person to be around, always hyping the players up, and they didn't like it, so they told him he had to find work elsewhere.
Well, I mean, I think the frustrating part from I think a Jaguars fan perspective is that you saw the production before Keenan got there, and then the production afterwards, and that I think that's what sucks because the receiving core I think turned it on once he got there, so it's unfortunate. But I'm happy he's in
Well,
Minnesota.
yeah, it's tough when you can't. When the coordinator or the head coach may want his receivers to look a certain way or to play a certain way,
Sure.
and it doesn't fit the characteristics or the physical makeup of that receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, having a receiver out of position, putting him at the slot position when he's really a perimeter, receiver, that happens all the time.
Oh, I bet.
And I remember when they were saying that we're not going to have like a number one receiver. This was early when Keenan got there. I'm like, how can you not have a number one receiver? That doesn't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
I just figured with having new staff, they would at least keep him. Like, they're pushing the whole culture thing. Why not keep the only culture you have, on the staff?
It's about relationships. Just like everybody was like on me because Shannon Sharp said on his show a couple of weeks ago about, kind of throwing the rock in his hand, throwing in the Kaepernick thing. Like they signed Tebow and didn't sign Kaepernick. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I saw that.
Don't go there, Shannon. Don't go there, Shannon. If you were so concerned about
Jimmy,
Kaepernick,
you were holding your own on there, bro. I was proud of you.
Man, I was pissed, man. I didn't because I take great pride in the Jaguars.
Absolutely.
And I watch those shows all the time, and they never really talk about us or give him credit. And Shannon knows he's played against us on multiple times, so he knows about how good we were, but he never really gives us any credit.
He's lost to you a couple times too.
He's what?
He lost to you a few times too. You know.
Yeah. And for him to say, well, they should have signed Kaepernick. What? We spent all offseason talking about the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo and their rookie that they just drafted. Look at Denver. I'm like, why don't you call your buddy Elway and tell him to sign Kaepernick? Denver needs a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna talk about that on here too because
They thought about that way back in 2017. Didn't they think about it or something like that? I don't know.
I think they tried to give him a shot there, but call him again, Shannon. We don't need him down there.
We're already getting blown up. People are like wanting to get Jimmy.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on, before we start, I'll go ahead and tell you because we're getting so many questions already. This is insane.
Oh,
so,
are we live? I thought we was just.
No, we're live, but I haven't started the podcast portion. John, do you have like a microphone too? Because you sound really far away, or could you move it closer?
Am I far enough? Yeah, I've got the mic.
Okay.
Sorry, is that better?
So one quick thing before we start. This guy, Boss Theo White is his name on Facebook, said, "Lightning, I met you when I was 9. It was at a Sprint store, and the poster was you, and the Thunder was doing the no smoking campaign. Great memories. Go Jags."
Oh man, tell them thank you. It's
Yeah.
an awesome story. I love hearing like personal stories when I've met someone like your story you just said about your encounter with Keenan. You know,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people that have similar stories to the one that you have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I told
I love hearing those stories. Maybe that's something you guys could do, kind of start a campaign or whatever, a movement or whatever. Your encounters, your followers.
Keenan
Does
McCardle
anybody else
finds
have
the
any?
elevator.
Yeah, I say
There
that
you
pretty
go.
much every show with people we talk
Yeah.
to, because I actually met Tom McManus at my elementary school when I was 9, and a lot of these football players don't realize how much that impact is on the kids the first time you meet a professional football
Yeah.
player. Like if it was Tom McManus and Pete Mitchell came to my elementary school, and if it wasn't for like them being all, they didn't just go, "Oh, here, kid, go away." That interaction alone, or what they see you do on Instagram or whatever, kids look up to that. I'm a diehard Jags fan. I mean, diehard. My kids are named after the Jaguars. It's a problem. Okay, I have a problem. I have a problem. So we'll blame that on Tom McManus. I have a problem, Tom McManus. Thanks a lot. But anyways, if it wasn't for that original interaction with him, like you said, the stories that come from that. Anyway, I love it.
Yes.
This is the best day of my life. Third best day. My kids being born was better. Okay, let me not be rude.
Yes.
They're not listening. Come on, Sam.
That is true. They're in bed. Don't tell them I said this is the best day ever. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's get this ball rolling so we can let Jimmy off. Let me start. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Set for our 20. Let's go. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. My name is Samantha Wernett. Tonight we have a special guest, but let me start by introducing our commentators for this evening. Representing the Titans, we have John Ha.
Yo. Sorry. I was just sharing our link. I didn't think you were going to do me first.
Sorry. Representing the Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
AKA Cardinals. Let's go get Julio. Come on. Let's do it.
No, he's coming to us, buddy.
One day we're kicking you out of this division podcast. Representing the Colts, we have Harish Nukala.
Listen, you just got to sit here, trust the process, and don't be trying to go after everyone.
And
Winning takes time.
representing the Jaguars, we have Justin Gonzalez.
Hey, Duval, let's go.
And our special guest for this evening, we have the Lightning, J Smooth, Mr. Jimmy Smith. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much. This is an honor for me. When Matt told me, hey, guess who's coming on, I freaked out. I normally don't freak out. We have guests come on, but I was like, let me clear my schedule, make sure I'm free. Thank you so much for joining us. We talked about it a little bit in pre-production, but we did have your son on a few weeks ago, and he's been our favorite guest to date. Love him.
Good.
He's so awesome. So awesome.
I'm glad it went well.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
You must taught him that trash talk game, huh? Because he was on it.
He was on
getting
it.
Really?
it, those guys.
Really?
Yeah, he was right there with them. He didn't miss a beat. He did a great job with us.
Really? I wish I could have heard that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. You'll have to listen to it. It was good. But he did talk to us a lot about the advice that you gave him. He mentioned like the trials that you've had and the, advice that you've given him. Of course we know history. You had a tough go of it with the Cowboys. You played with the Eagles during the offseason, and then you tried out with the Jags. You made your way up into the starting position. And this is, I guess, like a three-parter question. What was the drive that gave you the motivation to keep going? And did you just know, like, how some people just say, like, I knew I was going to play in the NFL. I was going to start in the NFL. And what advice would you give a lot of the young players who are coming out, especially like this week, DJ Chark came out and said he was struggling with mental health issues. So what advice would you give these young players coming out that do actively speak on it?
Well, my drive, that was my lifelong dream to play on Monday Night Football and then in the NFL at a very early age. My dad played for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Linebacker, correct?
Yes, their first 2 years in existence. And so I had a love for football because I wanted to be like Dad, even though I never saw him play. But I used to always carry a football around with me. And I would throw the ball as far as I could, and then I would run and try to catch it. At a very young age, I'm
That's
talking
awesome.
about, yeah, and I did this my entire childhood, not knowing, well, I was trying to mimic, the NFL receivers like Billy White Shoes Johnson is like one of my favorite receivers. Wes Chandler. I used to want to be those guys. And I was in training at an early age. It's amazing how I was kind of, throw the ball as far as I could and try to go catch it. Well, I was in training to catch those deep balls that Mark Brunell and Brian Leftwich and every other quarterback, David Garrard, had the opportunity to throw to me. And so getting to the NFL, I mastered how to do that. I'm really not that fast. I just made it look like I was fast.
You did a good job.
Yeah, you could have
Good
fooled
job.
us. You could have fooled us.
Yep.
Well, speaking on that, you've been very vocal about the Tim Tebow situation. You've received a lot of flack for your opinions, and what you're talking about this earlier, what people don't understand. While you could say Cap did get outed by the league, it wasn't a Jaguar problem. They've turned it into a Jaguar problem. And as a former Jaguar player, though, being with the team young, and basically you saw the team grow up. You're in the pride of the Jaguars, 67 touchdowns with us, 12,287 yards. Like, ugh. God, you're just the best. I want to be you when I grow up. But anyways, but seeing that and being with the team from the young, Jaguar team age, what is it exactly that you see or think the organization is lacking in terms of culture that they're trying so desperately to grasp at?
Well, the team has rebooted, and the culture is winning. We started out, 95, we were 5-11 or something. But the next year we went to the playoffs 4 years in a row. So that's our culture. Those losing seasons, no, that's not our culture. But we have Florida State fans, we have Florida fans, we have Central Florida fans, we got some Georgia fans. I mean, Miami fans, and it's a unique place to play when you're winning. As far as the organization, I think that Shad Khan and Tony Khan, they've all made a very good decision as far as rebooting this team. They got a lot of backlash for doing it, with Coughlin and bringing Coughlin back, which we all thought that would bring back the glory days, but it doesn't work. It didn't work with the athletes that we had on our team. They weren't Coughlin's athletes. In order for it to work, Coughlin would have to draft his own athletes. These guys were drafted by Dave Caldwell. All right, great athletes, but not the Coughlin guy, not the kind of guy that. These guys were sensitive guys. very
we,
sensitive.
Yeah, we remember that.
I mean, you say, you call their name and they think you cursing them out. So,
Yeah.
so they weren't Coughlin guys to begin with. I don't even think they make Coughlin guys anymore because everybody's social media and it's just changed. So, Urban Meyer was a great decision, and the decisions that Urban Meyer has made with the love that he has in the community, I think Shad Khan has done an outstanding job. Hats off to him. Um, he's been nothing but great for the city,
I agree.
and he just needs to put together a winning team.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing. I don't think he gets the appreciation that he needs, that he deserves. I think he should get more appreciation as an owner.
Oh, I 100% agree on that. I hate
and
seeing that.
well, I mean, that's what you get when you lose.
Yeah.
When you don't, I mean, if we were winning, they would have had the project approved for Lot J. You know?
Oh yeah, these guys saw me sweating. I was watching the board meeting. I joined in on that Zoom. I was not happy when that happened.
Yeah, but it would have been great. I mean, it's similar to what they have in Frisco and Dallas for the Cowboys. A little city around that stadium.
Yeah, I just went to a Braves game, and they have the battery around Truist Park, and I was like, this is what the Jaguars need.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
And that's the trend. Shad Khan sees that, but you have, ones that are against it for whatever reason. So hats off to him. We need to support him more. He will put a winning back on the team. I'm confident that Urban Meyer, with what he's done so far, with being able to draft very, very well, high value players, polarizing players. I mean, Trevor is polarizing. E.T. is polarizing. Those two together are polarizing in the draft. And then they got some really good talent sprinkled here and there on the team already. Like Colin Johnson. I think he's going to be a monster.
Man.
Who's the other receiver? Jones?
Marvin
Marvin
Jones.
Jones.
I think Marvin Jones is going to be a monster.
And then you got your number one receiver, DJ Shark. Yeah, I mean, you got some good wrestlers.
He's number one now, but come on now, he got some heat. He's gonna have to really be a number one.
Well, we have a couple. We got a couple questions from the group, and then I'll let the guys ask you a couple questions. One of them is, describe the transition from Brunell to Leftwich from the wide receiver perspective.
Well, everybody knows left-handed quarterbacks, they have a different spin on the ball. When I first, in 95, training camps and RTAs, I had a hard time catching Mark's ball because I never caught balls from a left-hander. Gunslinger. It's different in a left-hander, but a left-hander gunslinger, which is Mark. And when that ball's spinning in an opposite rotation than what you've been used to all my life, I've never caught from a left-hand quarterback, ever, in all my years of playing football. So when you got that ball coming at you with a totally opposite rotation on it at a high velocity, that football's coming at you 60, 70 miles an hour, sometimes 80. And that ball will spin right out of your hands if you're not used to catching the ball. Now, down the sideline on a deep ball, on the left side of the field, you know that you have to save yourselves at least 4 yards from the sideline, because where he throws the ball, that ball's going to have that rotation to where it'll spin right out of bounds. When you're on the right side, you know that the ball is going to spin more inbounds. Those things that a lot of people don't even take time to even realize or think about.
True
the
that.
adjustment that a receiver has to make. And for a right-handed quarterback like a Byron Leftwich, who is also a right-handed gunslinger, it's the same thing. The opposite way. So the only remedy to that is repetition.
Yeah.
Repetition and understanding, that geometry, or however you want to say it, some type of science of that football. When that ball's coming at you, I'm like, okay, it's not catch the football. I'm looking at the football like what I'm asking myself, not even where is it going to be? Well, I'll take that back. Well, it's supposed to be in this area within, my wingspan.
Right.
And then after I have that, then it goes from that to, okay, how am I going to catch this ball?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you don't even think about that, the way it comes at you. Like when you're not playing, the way it comes at you depending on the way they throw. There's things you never think about.
That, this process that goes through your head when you're running a route and catching the football, and then after I catch it and then I'm on the sideline, okay, what's my landing approach? Am I going to be able to get 2 feet inbounds? What's my landing approach? So you got to have a plan for getting 2 feet on the ground before you're out of bounds.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't go that far as
I've always thought how fascinating
thinking
it is
outside
that
the ball. Yeah.
How you guys don't even think of that ball before your body. That's always been so fascinating to me. Because you have to literally stop, instinct to protect your arm or your head or your shoulder or whatever.
Well,
just to protect that
repetition.
Ball. Yeah.
It's repetition. Repetition. Doing this stuff 100 times. Catching 1,000 balls a day. Just repetition every day.
Well, here's a couple more lighter questions.
Okay.
Colton Hortzman wants to know, who's your most hated team when you played? Who did you hate the most?
Tennessee.
Yeah. Take that, John Ha.
Yeah. I didn't like playing Tennessee because Tennessee, Jeff Fisher built that team not to go to the Super Bowl, but he built that team
to beat the Jaguars.
To beat the team that was going to the Super Bowl. Just like we did. Just like Coughlin did. I mean, when in our early years, Coughlin didn't just build a team to go to the Super Bowl. He built a team to beat the Denver Broncos because that was a team that was going to the Super Bowl. And we were able to beat them in that playoff game in Mile High. So yeah, I'm sitting and I'm watching Tennessee year by year how they're drafting players and who they're drafting and what kind of attitude these players have. And I'm just watching, man. He's building this team to beat us. And when he drafted, I remember, and when he drafted Samari Rolle, I knew that
that's for you, huh?
What we thought he was going to be for me, but it ended up that he was really for Keenan.
Oh,
yeah,
really? Okay.
Yeah, and so they would roll a bracket coverage to me where the corner would play 7 yards off and Blaine Bishop would run underneath, and then Robinson is kind of like in the middle of the field. So they kind of like had me in a triangle while Samari Rolle just followed Keenan all over the field. And then you got Javon Kearse and you got Bullock. And they were hell.
We had some dogs, man. We had some dogs.
Yeah.
It hurts me too, Jimmy, because I was a diehard Oilers fan. And then when Bud Adams selfishly moved to Tennessee, I feel your pain. Like I saw them draft Eddie George and Steve McNair. I was like, ooh, man. And then the first year they become the Titans, they go to the Super Bowl. I was like, God, come on. I get it.
Well, Jimmy, I know we only have you for a couple more minutes, so we'll just have a couple of the guys. Harish, go ahead. Do you have a quick question for Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy. Hey, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, talk to me about a little bit how the game has changed in your eyes from when you were in the league versus wide receivers now. People always talk about this era is different and that era is different. What do you see that's different about wide receivers today versus when you were in the league?
Man, wide receivers today get a chance to. Early in my season, corners, you have to fight corners all the way down the field, and then they came in with a rule towards the end of my season where it was a 5-yard chuck rule. The corners had to let you go after 5 yards. So that made it a little easier on receivers. And now we always had to worry about a running light or Sean Taylor or John Lynch knocking their head off. The receivers don't have to worry about that now. There will never ever be any more running lots or
Jack Tatum or
it won't be
Yeah.
the big heavy hitter Donovan Darius type safeties that Sean Taylor's that's over with.
Yeah.
That's over with. That you won't see any more of those guys being drafted because you can't hit the receiver.
Yeah.
So if I was playing today and didn't have to worry about that, man, come on. You kidding me?
You're saying it's gotten better for receivers.
They got to worry about me hitting them.
Justin Gonzalez, you got a question? Our Jaguar, you're the most important. You're our Jaguars commentator.
No, Jimmy, I appreciate you coming on for sure. You were my first Jaguar jersey, so I appreciate everything you've done. You're super active on Twitter too, talking about the Jags and just talking to people that tweet at you. So I appreciate you for that too, because some
seem like I'm the only one, man. I don't hear any other player out there.
I know, right?
I'm like, why don't somebody stand up and help me?
That's what I'm saying.
Damn
That's
that hell. I'm gonna take ownership of the team.
Hey, but you holding your own.
Maybe they don't have time. I got a lot of time.
Absolutely. My one question for you, Jimmy, is out of all the corners or all the defensive backs that you played against, who was the one that you felt even though he probably didn't do a good job, he was the best corner that you played against?
Pac-Man Jones, Ty Law, Deion Sanders.
Beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
That's a
All right.
talented.
Two more, and then we'll let you go, Jimmy. We'll start the most hated, the Titans commentator. Go ahead, John Hall.
Hang on. I represent the team you hate the most. I'd like to think I'm beloved with you guys. Oh, darn it. What did I have? I just wanted to say, given your career, how we talked at the beginning, how you kind of, when you came into Jacksonville, you kind of worked your way into it and became who you are. Is there somebody that maybe be on the Jacksonville team that you see could maybe be the next Jimmy Smith?
Ooh, good question.
To work up. Is there anybody that maybe you kind of
as far
really
as receiver?
that people aren't looking at.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Colin Johnson, who was drafted last year, I don't know, 6th, 7th round. He was like 6. Man, I like him. And I have a relationship with him. He reached out to me. And I like when I reach out to players, current players, and they reach back, I automatically become their mentor, and give them kind of like the answers to the test,
There you go.
Yeah, I like to tell them, critique their game. Tell them something that their coach is not telling them.
Right.
Good too, and if they're a good player, they listen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, as a Colts fan and a Texas Longhorns fan, I was very upset that Colin Johnson is a Jaguar. Colin Johnson.
He has all the tools to be a monster, dude. Speed.
Yeah, he does.
Was he like 6'6"? And then
especially at his size. Yep.
He can stop on a dime at 6'6". If he continues that, if he stays in the weight room and on the squat rack and keep that ability to stop on a dime at 6'6", he got, man.
His last year at Texas.
Randy Moss couldn't do that.
Oh wow.
Randy Moss can you just have to go max coverage and block everybody, max protect, and wait for Randy Moss to run through the coverage.
Yeah.
And jump in the air and catch the ball.
Collins
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year at Texas was unreal because him and little Jordan Humphreys were problems. And unfortunately, Colin got hurt. That ankle really got to him. But I don't know. I hope he does well. I really like
Collins stay in the weight room, like I told him. If he stay in the weight room, on that squat rack, he will be unstoppable.
So he's one to keep an eye on, huh?
Yeah.
It's imperative that he stay on that squat rack, though. If you don't stay on that squat rack, he's not going to be able to run full speed at 6'6" and stop on a dime.
Well, I got you, Jimmy. I'm going to tweet him. I'm going to say, hey, man, you better hit that.
Yeah, tell him we talked to Jay Smooth. Jay Smooth told us to tell you.
Get your ass in that locker room.
No, not in the locker room.
Oh, the weight room. Yeah, the weight room.
Squat
The
rack.
squat rack. Yeah.
Squat rack.
That squat rack.
Make
Gotta
sure
act-
you say squat rack because he's going to the weight room and do some curls. That ain't what we're talking about. We need him on the squat rack at 6'6",
Gotcha.
and he's going to be the best receiver in the NFL if he does that. Just the squat rack.
Oh, wow.
Just the squat rack is all he needs.
That Braves Mets game the other night that I went to, the pitcher activates his glutes before he pitches. He literally does a squat while he reads the play. So I guess there's
Where all his
something
power comes from.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's something in all of that. All right, Matt. I already know what you're gonna ask, but
Actually, I'm going to change it up. Cause,
oh, you're changing it up today. Normally he asks who's the biggest
Yeah.
jerk you've ever met, but go ahead.
Yeah, I usually ask who's the biggest dick you ever ran in the NFL, but I'm going to change it up. You watch receivers throughout the NFL. Who reminds you closely to the great Thunder and Lightning on any team on the NFL? Who reminds you of Keenan Cardell and yourself?
Often imitated, never duplicated, baby.
I haven't seen anybody.
Oh, that's what I like.
Jimmy, come on, man.
Honestly, who? You guys have any idea?
No,
Oh, it's just
There's
I was
never.
just
I mean,
wrote something.
The closest I probably seen was probably Larry Fitzgerald and Bolden, but I mean it didn't really last that long.
No. Larry Fitzgerald wasn't no deep threat. Those are two possession type receivers.
yeah.
Yeah, those
Because
two
Larry
hits-
Fitzgerald is not known for going deep, and Anquan Bolden is not known for going deep.
True,
I was
yeah.
known for going deep. Keenan was strictly known for going over the middle.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
true. That done,
And then
Jimmy-
our production, you look at our production as tandems, and that should tell you everything.
Is
Yeah.
there a wide receiver you're looking forward to watching this year, like a breakout receiver?
Colin Johnson. I keep telling
Yeah.
you. Colin Johnson.
I mean, besides,
Gotta listen.
I'm reading directly from the group, and we have one last commentary, and then we'll let you go. Craig Christmas wanted to ask you if you remember coming down to the Slab tailgate lot with Fred Taylor, circling up with the Bold City Brigade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was so fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
We know how to tailgate.
Yeah, they got a San Antonio brigade fan club
Yeah.
that really sponsored my trip up to Cleveland for the draft. And man, they bought the bar. Man, I love the brigade. The brigade spend money on the players. The brigade does what Dan Edwards with the Jacksonville Jaguars is supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be Dan Edwards with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who's been there since day one. My friend, he doesn't do for the former players what he should be doing. Boy, he got his picks. You know?
I literally.
He was the one who told me, well, after we push Baselli, get Baselli in the Hall of Fame, we're going to push Fred and then we'll push you. What? So I'm competing to get in the Hall of Fame against an offensive lineman and a running back and vice versa? Where they do that at? Before all three of us at the same time, Dan.
before you go,
You got Sam Kavares presenting Tony Baselli. Sam don't even know nothing about football.
before you go,
You gotta get somebody who knows something about football. Why y'all think Tony Baselli is not get? Let me stop.
No, I no, the same thing. When we had Rashad Jennings on, he has that whole foundation. He has children's books that he's written. And I'm like, why have I never heard about this? Why, the guy who's supposed to be the director of veteran players has never pushed this out. This is, I agree. That's ridiculous that they aren't doing stuff like that.
Hey, Jimmy, before you go, that pyramid where it had your for sure Hall of Famers.
Oh
and
yeah,
your
I
favorite
made
receivers.
I
Dude,
made
they
you the pharaoh.
disrespected you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, all right, thank
they
you.
disrespected you hardcore on there, man. You should have been a Hall of
Hey,
Fame.
man, that's all right.
100%.
I'm just glad to be a part of the group and in the conversation.
You'll
Yeah,
be there.
Well,
that
you're a
made
Hall
me
of Famer
so
now.
mad.
No doubt.
That made
Oh,
me
don't get mad.
so
We're just
mad.
glad to be in the conversation.
That's, I mean,
Glad to be
no
nominated.
news is good news, I guess, but I still was like, no, get out
Glad to
here.
be, glad to have my name stamped in that stadium.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that
There
was
you go.
the best. Pride of the Jaguars, yes.
Hey,
Oh.
you're in the AFC South
Pleasure.
fan battle Hall of Fame, Jimmy.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're competing with Trey, though.
Yeah.
Father-son duel.
Yeah, I don't mind losing that one.
Actually, let me ask you this one last thing, because you mentioned the Bold City Brigade being in Cleveland. It was so funny because I was actually talking back and forth with Trey on Twitter about it. There was a guy that you recorded who said that he stole your pumpkin off your front porch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
tweeted Trey because he was just on our episode a week or two prior to that. And I said, well, Trey, did you carve that one? Because if you carved that one, he might have got a 2-for-1. And he's like, no, my mom actually grounded me because she thought that I was the one that had something to do with it.
I know it was a big deal because when I had that video, I immediately sent that to Sandra, and she laughed because that was a big deal. That pumpkin came up missing, and I do remember. I mean, it was just a big deal. I don't know what happened, but I just remember somebody stole my pumpkin. Somebody stole my pumpkin. I'm like, it's all right. You got another pumpkin. We'll go get you another. But that pumpkin was a big deal in our family.
I
So
told him. I told
was,
him he needs reparations for wrongful conviction for that one.
Yeah, he need to get on mama. He's not gonna get on mama.
Well, Jimmy, before you log off, tell us, give us a little quick, what are you doing now? Where do we find you? Are you doing any podcasts? What you got going on?
Not doing any podcasts at the moment. I got a few projects going on. I got a CBD sports drink that's about to launch in about 6 weeks, so I'm busy with that. That's the biggest thing that I'm doing, other than being a father to all my young ones. Love being a father. I love being daddy. Love being daddy.
It's a great thing.
That is the best job.
I'm really praying that the CBD sports drink will be a huge hit. I know it will in Jacksonville. I know it will here in Texas, but nationally, and hopefully this thing will be big, and hopefully one of the big, bottling companies are buy us as a product and put us on the shelves.
Yeah, well, definitely give us
we do have
stuff for
we
it.
do.
We'll push it.
I'll definitely get you guys to help me promote it, because we already got
promoter for you.
Got 2 distributorships in Texas, one in Florida, 22 stores in Florida. So all the hard stuff is set up. Just got with a great group of people and put together a good team, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And then I'm doing a little campaigning for a friend of mine back home in a little small town in Mississippi.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah,
And
we
then-
definitely push your drink for you there.
Yeah, definitely
Thank you.
send us all the information. We'll post it up. A lot of times when we have guests that have stuff like that, we'll run contests in the group for our people to win it and stuff like that. So definitely let us
That'd be
know.
awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And of course, you can find Jimmy on Twitter at Jimmy Smith Jags. The tag's on the bottom for those of you who are watching the live. Jimmy, once again, I love it. Thank you so much. I'm gonna fangirl to log off. I've been watching
girl.
you. Been a Jaguars fan since I was 9 years old when I started going in 1995, and this is the best. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so happy today.
Absolutely.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye.
See you, Jimmy.
Bye.
I just love him.
Oh, thank you. I heard you.
Hey, at least it was a good thing, right?
There you go.
So he's like, let me stay back and see what they're gonna say. That's great.
Oh, that was awesome. Man, that was awesome.
All right, so what's the plan to get DeForest on the show?
So, anyways, in NFL news, Julio Jones something, who cares? Aaron Rodgers, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Man, that was awesome. Anyways,
I mean, I can.
this is going to be our commercial break. So whatever you guys want to segue into, I don't know if I can recoup. I need like a cigarette after that one. That was
You're
awesome.
supposed to feel happy, not stressed, isn't that?
Did Julio Jones know he was being recorded when Shannon Sharp called him up today?
Apparently not.
Absolutely. Kidding me?
Some people think it's staged. Some people think he had no idea.
Oh, he
I don't-
absolutely knew. I mean, come on.
Well,
I mean, he
I watched the
so
clip, and they never once told him he was on TV.
They
Okay,
did
but-
at the end.
Yeah, but you mean to tell me a guy
I
that's been
kinda
in the
slid
league
it in
for
there.
almost
I mean,
10 years?
I imagine he knows what time Shannon Sharp is on the air, but
Yeah, but I mean, he's been a player for 10 years. He's done interviews
Right.
like crazy. You think he's
Yeah.
gonna
Especially,
not sit
no.
in front of a camera
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, maybe this thing is on"?
especially
He-
Shannon Sharp. You
he
should know
isn't
the type
dumb.
of person Shannon Sharp is.
well, we're
He's not
actually
stupid.
going to. I'll let you guys finish, but I was gonna say for those of you listening, Thursday night hype with Chris Jackson this week. He's gonna dive more into the Julio Jones, the Tim Tebow, and the Aaron Rodgers saga. But continue. Go ahead.
Julio isn't dumb, so I mean, I would think that he would restrain himself. But I mean, it's possible that he's thinking this is like hey, it's a buddy of mine, and I'm just.
Why would he
straight
restrain
talking
himself? He wants out. I mean, obviously. So
Yeah.
why would he?
You look
Yeah.
at his stats for the past 4 years, and he's like,
Losing
"Man,
his
they're not
opportunities.
using me at all. I need to go somewhere where they're actually going to throw me the ball in the end zone."
Yeah.
Well, hell, when Calvin Ridley's wide open in the end zone, we can blame Matt Ryan for throwing it to him.
Offensive play calling. We can talk all day about this.
But you got to see the type of person Shannon Sharp is. I'm not saying he's,
No.
but he would do something crazy like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
not.
think-
It's not. That's not even just Shannon. It's the reputation of that show.
Oh yeah,
They-
absolutely, yeah.
They don't give a shit. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, why would you burn a bridge like with Julio Jones's agent like that? Like, I don't understand why you.
Well, I feel like him and Shannon are close. Like outside of his agent,
Mhm.
I don't think it's a big deal.
I don't think the
To
producers
him.
of the show knew, but I think Julio and Shannon knew.
Shannon.
What was going, yeah, the producers of the show might not know what's going on, but I knew Shannon knew what was going on. He's like, I'm about to air it out, like dirty laundry. Here it comes.
Hmm.
Yeah, full force.
So I don't mean to interrupt the discussion. I don't know if y'all saw Twitter, but Jimmy just tweeted us out and said thank you for having him on.
Take a
Oh, shit.
take a screenshot of that because I saw it and then I can't find it. Please.
And then
Pleasure
he
was
has
on our
Sam
end.
as his And then he had Sam as his picture.
Yeah, I know. Can you take a screenshot of that because I can't find it? Now.
I
Yeah, I'll send it to the group.
think pleasure was on our end. That's I'm a Titans fan, but like that's a true NFL legend right there. That was a treat.
Yeah, that was fun.
Especially to the insight he gave with the ball, the directional of the
Well,
ball.
yeah, you don't even think about. Well, especially me. So I know a lot of people grow
know
up
you don't
playing
think about
football. I
There's a
did.
lot Sam doesn't think about.
I'm a football fan, but it's the little things like that. Like even having the scouts on, when you hear that they talk to the girlfriends or having, who else have we had on that they tell us like crazy things that you would never think. Talking to personal trainers about stuff or whatever. But even talking to players and they say something like the difference between how the ball comes to you from a left hand and a right hand. Those are things you never think about, or I don't.
Well, especially on that pro of a level, I mean, once you get in that level, the window is pretty much abysmal. So, it's cool to see it come from that big of a person, especially somebody who done it so good like Jimmy did.
Yep.
Well, guys, like I said, we are going to dive more into the Tim Tebow saga.
Why you say that with an
What is the
attitude? That's your
saga?
guy.
I mean,
your tight end
there are
right
there's very few Well, first of all, it's like a
That's the
900.
starting tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hold
you're
on.
talking
So,
about.
He's not on the 52-man roster. He has
position
965 thousand with 0 guaranteed. Whatever. Anyways, Chris
Well,
Jackson's gonna dive into that, and they're gonna dive into Julio Jones, and Matt's probably gonna cry. So to make sure you tune in Thursday.
You haven't got a Tim Tebow jersey yet, Sam?
Absolutely not. I have not.
wouldn't it be the most epic thing ever if like Shad Khan was like, man, we can make a bunch of jersey sales if we sign Tim Tebow, but cut him
It
before the
worked.
first preseason game,
It
and we make
worked
all this
already.
money.
That's
would
100%. 100% is what's gonna happen, and he's gonna
It
get up on
already
staff. I'm
happened.
calling
He
it
already
now.
happened. He has the number 1 selling jersey
Yeah.
in the league right now.
They're
Yeah,
buying
but
up his
like-
jerseys like crazy.
but
I
what if
thought
they
Sam
cut
was
him?
like on his registry or something.
But what if they cut him before game 1 and they just made all this
Yeah.
money on jersey sales and he doesn't
What?
even play a snap?
It wouldn't be short of what any other team has done with Tim Tebow. So
Sure.
Tebow time
that
was
would be
really
something.
fun there for a little bit.
Yeah. Real quick, some Colts news for you guys, real quick. For those of you guys thinking about going to just games in general, Peyton Manning and Edge are getting inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor week 2 against the Rams. So I was going to go to the week 1 game. I've now switched to going to the week 2 game.
And that's crazy that they got inducted to the Hall of Fame before they got inducted to the Colts Hall of Fame.
So I know there's actually last year there was a bunch that were supposed to go in, but because of COVID, it got all
COVID.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they wanted to do it right.
Yep. Robert Mathis is going in this year. Dwight Freeney's going in this year.
Oh,
still going to that.
Robert Mathis loves me.
Yeah, Robert Mathis absolutely needs to come on this show.
Yeah, he does.
so-
Especially after he said, "Sit down with your whatever he
He
said.
won't.
Sit
He
down with your
won't.
36 followers."
He won't.
He has some interest. I know Cato June. I think it's probably gonna be the next one that comes on.
He won't.
So,
You know, I'd be down with that.
What about isn't Javon Curse supposed to be coming on?
yeah, forgot about that. Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
What
man,
did I
we're
hear?
piling them in, bro. We're
Squeeze
piling-
me?
Yeah.
I didn't hear
David,
you through the Dukes. I didn't hear you through the Dukes. Mayonnaise.
Y'all,
Yes,
y'all don't.
Curse.
I'm sorry.
Y'all probably don't know who he is, but David Anderson's interested in coming on the podcast. So
Derek?
David,
David.
Oh, David.
yeah, he was.
Derek Anderson.
Yeah, Derek. Yeah.
And of course, Pat McAfee, who we've talked to twice, and we still haven't confirmed a date.
Yeah, come on, Pat.
That's
Pat,
Thomas, man.
Pat.
Y'all
I think they're
still,
getting
you
divorced too.
guys
at some
still
point.
tweeting him every day?
Every day.
Yes. So boss Theo White just said, who should the next Jag be on the pride of the Jaguars?
Rasheen Mathis.
Oh, that's what I called it.
Oh,
I
that
called it.
No. Tim Tebow.
No.
Yo,
Yes.
we want more listeners, not less.
Rasheen,
Marcus Stroud on
or Maurice Jones-Drew. Like,
Marcus-
Who's in there already? So obviously Brunell.
but
Like
he
Fred
kind of
Taylor.
left. He left on bad terms, so no.
Yeah,
I
hot
agree.
take for MJD. Yeah, he can wait another 5 years. Let's get
Fred
the
Taylor?
hometown guy. He's already
Who's-
up there.
Who's
Fred-
in
yeah.
it already? Who's in
Marcus
the
Stroud. Marcus
Fred Taylor,
Stroud.
Tony
Fred
Baselli,
Taylor.
Fred Taylor, Tony Baselli, Mark Brunell.
Brunell, Thunder and Lightning. I'm guessing.
Is Keenan McCardell in the Pride?
I don't know yet. I don't think so. I think it's just Jimmy.
Yeah, I think
What
you.
are
I
they
think.
waiting on Keenan for?
Um,
Okay.
go ahead, Justin.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say I don't know what the rules are. I know a lot of times you have to be like officially retired, and I know Mark Brunell's back in, but I think he was officially retired.
I was in Tampa when they inducted John Lynch, and he was very much a part of.
But that's not like coaching wise. GM is a whole different step. I think it's probably coaching. You know. But,
Yeah, because he was still coaching for the Jaguars.
Right.
So once he gets out of the league, like we obviously can't induct him into the Pride of the Jaguars when he's in Minnesota.
dumb.
Mercedes. What about Mercedes Lewis and Marcus Stroud? They should be on there.
Stroud, yes. Lewis.
Mercedes
Hey,
Lewis is still playing.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's with
dude.
the
Mercedes
Packers.
Lewis is
Wow.
They just wonder, bro. Mercedes Lewis has been on like 8.
Oh,
I don't know
one
if
more
Mark-
thing,
he's a
Justin.
stud.
Justin, can we talk about this really quick? I can't believe I forgot. Can we talk about the Lambo tweeting at the NFLPA this week? Did you see that?
I did not. I was
Oh.
working. Sorry.
Oh,
I
no,
was
no, no.
kinda
This is
MIA
huge. This is
week.
huge. I've been so busy that I didn't even go in the chat and tell you guys. Josh Lambo went on Twitter 2, 3, 4 days ago. They're all running together because my son's birthday. And said something about NFLPA. I've been trying to reach you guys, and nobody's called me for 3 weeks. And he's like, we're all one team, right? And then everybody's like, oh, no, shit. And this is like around the time the Tebow stuff started happening. So what happened? That he's trying to get a hold of the union.
I think they're gonna cut him. And
Why?
Because they signed some dude early or late last week. That I saw to replace them. I don't know if it's because of
The hip issues?
something like that. I know his injury concerns is what's bringing it up, but yeah. I don't want to see him go because in Jaguars histories, we've had a lot of great kickers that have been here a lot of years, from Mark Hollis to Josh Scobie, and I feel like Josh Lambo could be that guy if he's healthy. So hopefully it's not that, and hopefully it's not the injury stuff that we talked about a couple of weeks ago and how the Jaguars fumbled that in the past. I hope that's in the past.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Jags like to do Jag things, so.
Heyo.
Just jagging off.
Yeah, always jagging off. Well, guys, any final thoughts before we log off for tonight?
Hey, June, a week from today, it's going to be free agency part 2. Get ready. It's going to be a wild week next week.
Yeah, what are we doing? Memorial Day? Are we going on
I'm off, so
holiday? So I was just Sam, what's going on there? Or I guess that should be when we go log off, maybe.
Yeah, we'll work out that.
Logging off.
But
not jagging off.
Well, guys, like I said, Thursday Night Hype with Chris Jackson and his crew. They're gonna dive more into the Aaron Rodgers, Julio Jones.
Who's his crew?
I don't know. Whoever he picks.
I didn't think he had a crew.
It's just Matt right now.
Yeah, I always work Thursday nights.
Matt Grieve?
No, you, Matt. You're the only one who's ever on there with Chris.
Well, yeah, I work, so it's not gonna be me.
We will have somebody.
It looks like it's gonna be Little Hazex this week.
Do it. Hit me up, Chris.
We know you would love to talk about Aaron Rodgers because you're a quarterback freak. You like all the quarterbacks.
I hate Aaron Rodgers more than like most quarterbacks, I'd say. Tom Brady may be the quarterback I hate more than Aaron Rodgers, but it's close.
Wow.
I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
That's tough. My dad and best friend are big Packer fans too.
I'm sorry. John, show me on this doll where Aaron Rodgers hurt you, please.
He didn't. He's just a jerk face. Look at him.
Well, he's proving that now. But anyways, guys, we thank you for tuning in. Thank you again to Jimmy Smith. Make sure you listen in on the Relevant app. You can find content in there. We're trying to move our group slowly into Relevant because we know that Facebook is getting very PC, and they don't like when we trash talk each other's teams. But it's the sports, and we love sports, and we all can collectively dislike the Titans and Titans fans together. So let's all move that way.
I agree.
Oh, we got a comment from Pat Storm. Hi, Pat. We miss you.
Whoa,
Matt.
Pat, what's up, buddy?
I can't see what he said.
What is Pat Storm saying?
He said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" 3 exclamation points.
5 exclamation points.
Oh,
I think
You need to go back on the
I think he heard us. He heard us say that Trey Smith was one of our favorite guests, and he got offended. And he knows that he actually is our favorite guest.
Dude, that was a big Aaron Rodgers fan.
Yeah, that's what it is. Pat, we miss you. You need to come back on here. We know. Now you know what it's like to be a Jaguars fan. There's not a lot that you actually want to talk about, but you need to come back on because we miss you. But anyways, well, guys, thank you for tuning in this evening, and make sure you turn in Thursday Night Live for the Chris Jackson Thursday Night Hype. And that episode will be available on all major platforms Saturday. This episode will be available on all major platforms Wednesday. And we will see you guys next week. Have a happy Memorial Day.